connecting to cloud server. Awesome. So I sent you the list of things that we are going to go through here, and this could be as short or as long as you want. I am going to add one question to it. It's just going to be the second question. So, but I wanted to start with number one. So just give me a summary of your background. So your background, what led up to your current career, so the sports, etc. So I want it in your words.
Okay. Feels like it was a long time ago. So let me just go way back into history. So I was a multi-sport athlete at a young age. And as I just told you, I said yes to everything, even when I was young. Mm-hmm. So there was even a point where I was doing swimming, basketball, volleyball, synchronized swimming, wow, and Girl Scouts. Wow. And my mom was like, this is too much. So that's when my focus went to just volleyball and basketball, and then just to volleyball. So I got to play on my youth. I got to play on the top team in San Diego. In 8th grade, I barely made that like traveling club team. Yeah. And there were all the rich kids from Rancho Santa Fe. And they told me, you're number 10, you barely made it. Do you still want to play on the team? And my parents were like, we're not going to spend all this money for you not to play. And I was like, I want to play with these girls that are really good. So that was almost like a transformational moment where I fought for it and they said yes. And I earned the starting spot on the team at the end of the year. So I sat the bench the whole year, traveled all over the country, sat to sit the bench, to like warm up and sit the bench, and then earned a starting middle blocker spot. And then the next year earned a varsity spot with 100 girls that tried out for our team. Like, it was the Poway High School team in San Diego is one of the best well-known volleyball programs in the country. One of those teams was ranked second in the nation at one point, and I would say that team at Poway was better than my college team. Like, that's awesome. Good. They all went Division I. They were all seniors. I was a sophomore. We got to play and beat Misty May, and that was fun to watch her play. She is one of the best athletes I ever saw. Of course, yes. In person, like, you almost have to remember, wait, I'm playing a volleyball game instead of watching this amazing person move. Yeah. Got to play against Carrie Walsh in club. Questioned why Stanford gave her a scholarship because she wasn't that good. Don't put this in your book. Don't put that in your book. It was just the point was, I guess, when I saw Carrie Walsh, is that she was just a raw athlete, and Stanford saw what they could. That taught me a huge lesson, is that you don't just hire talent, you hire for potential. Mm-hmm. And I do that in my business now. Like, I'd rather not hire a realtor with bad habits. Like, find the right person with the right attitude, with the right potential. They saw that in Carrie, obviously. They groomed her. They knew they were that good of a coach that they could take someone that was raw and make them she became like the best volleyball player in the world. So obviously they knew how to seek talent, but it was just funny. The club team was like, she's going to Stanford? So, wow, that's awesome. And, so anyway, that was fun to play against those good girls. And I then got recruited, and I was still not the number one player on my teams. My teams were I always played up, definitely. Like, even the Poway team and the club teams, I got to play with the best of the best, and that made me better. I wouldn't say I was the best athlete. I just was a really hard worker that got lucky enough to play with really good players and have great coaches. Agreed. So the teams that were recruiting me there was a couple top 25, but just Division I. And Boise State offered me, and I accepted, and moved to Boise, Idaho in 2000, and got to play 4 years as a middle blocker, outside hitter, right side. Got to play everything. I also played some beach volleyball, and my partner and I earned a silver medal in the Junior Olympics. That's awesome. And I'd say that beach volleyball in high school and those club teams were the reason why I got to play Division I. Like, they made me a really good volleyball player. Understand. Awesome. And the college years, I don't know. They were like really hard and really good. Lots of travel, lots of losing actually. After being on all those winning teams, like my club team was top 5 in the nation. My high school team was number 2 at one point, top in California. My college teams were mostly losing seasons, and we even lost a team member. So one of our team members passed away when I was in college in a car accident, and so there was like different lessons learned from losing games and like adversity and learning how to finish as a winning team. So we finished at 50-50 wins my senior year, which was big for us.
Yeah.
And that was the year we were grieving and getting over the loss of Shara, our setter. And so like just different real life lessons in college and doing a lot of work and multitasking and networking and friendships. I mean, they're like lifelong friends now, especially after what we went through. Like with those girls, I was just texting one of the gals that I played with, and she's a paramedic firefighter in Phoenix, and we'll be friends forever. You know, after going through 4 years, we played 4 years together in college, and then lost our best friend, and have had babies together. And amazing friend.
Yeah, amazing. And I actually, even though we've touched on our backgrounds before, I didn't realize how similar our sports was, because I too was a small part of these incredible teams growing up, and went to a Sac State obviously isn't a big time school, and we didn't win much at all as well. It's really, really similar to my story, and it put a lot of things into perspective. And you start to appreciate some of the smaller things. So that's amazing. So can you just touch on your business right now and some of the at least the most recent accolades? And I've heard them before, but I just want you to say them for the record about your team, how much you guys close, and how you guys are kicking butt right now.
So my real estate, oh no, I'm like echoing. Do you hear that? Okay.
I don't hear it. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, I hear myself. So our team sells, the last 5 years, we've done 100 to 150 units, and last year was 44 million in volume. Amazing. And a year, 84% referral. We've been pretty consistent in our majority of our business being referral or repeat. And we definitely have a specialist team set up, just like a sports team. So I'm more like the setter on the volleyball team, and I'm the CEO and listing agent, and I have fire specialists, and then we call our administrative side the success team, and they're amazing. They definitely do set us up for success.
Love it.
Organizing all of the behind the scenes. We're in the top 20 in the state of Idaho for production, for team production by Real Trends. And I think I was like number 3 in the state when I was an individual agent. And my greatest award that I've ever gotten was the KW Cares Award. And so we've had multiple years in a row where we've given the most to our Keller Williams nonprofit out of 600 realtors.
Awesome.
And I'm really proud of that award of giving and helping agents when they're in need. And let's see.
Amazing. That is awesome.
I think that's enough, right?
Yeah, that is awesome. I know you guys obviously been watching, big fan. I've heard you speak a couple times as well. So yes, that gives a good overview of it. And I'll get into the specific questions. The one I kind of wanted to add, because I do have a good section of this in my book, is about mindset and mental toughness. Can you just explain to me? This is one that wasn't on that list, so you might not have something prepared. But what is your view on what is your definition of mental toughness?
Well, I know that our success is 90% mindset, and you hear that and you're like, well, how do they even know that percentage? But I've just lived that. I've lived having like low lows or high highs, and then I see the results happen from that. So in the last recession, especially with what's happening right now, I can kind of look back and realize that I created that failure in the last recession because I sat around and waited for things to happen. Like my old business was literally just reacting to whatever happened. Like I'd go to a party, meet somebody, they need a realtor, I become their realtor. But if I hadn't gone to that party, I wouldn't have become their realtor. Like it just was luck. And so when the recession happened, my business shut off for like 5 months. Have I told you about this?
No.
Like stopped. And I do really think it was all mental. I mean, recession was hard, like no doubt, like that was hard. But now I've learned that in 2010, there was just as many transactions per side as 2019. There was less realtors. But here I was like sitting around thinking nothing was happening. And so like that negativity created more, or like lack of results created more lack of results. It just like fed off of each other. And then it almost was, looking back, I think it was depression. Like it was just like all by myself doing nothing. So when after 5 months of no income, I wrote a resume and decided I needed to go get a real job. And we weren't in debt. Luckily, we were pretty conservative. But it just was like, if something broke, we would be in trouble, like a car broke or something, or a house broke. And in that February, there's like more expenses in February, or something happened where we couldn't make the whole credit card bill. And that was the 5th month of no income. And that was the first time I had gone into debt, like not paid the whole thing. Had just moved my business to Keller Williams that month. And so was like learning like crazy, but still nothing happening. Of course, you're just learning, like aha moment after aha moment. And in March finally sold a house. And the house was $75,000.
Oh, wow.
Like not the commission, like the house.
Yes, I know.
And so I took that. Those don't exist anymore. Everyone's going to be calling me after they hear the story. They're like, I want a $75,000 house. No, those don't exist. That was 2011. So I took that little income and I paid for a class called BOLD, Business Objective Lifestyle Design. And as a former athlete, I do exactly what people tell me to do. So Coach came to town. Coach told me to call 100 people a week, contact 100 people a week. I did it for 8 weeks, and then that June sold 7 houses in the month of June.
Love it. Incredible.
And so I realized, looking back, and even now, like, say we're going into recession, who knows what's happening right now? Like, I'm getting up every single day, working harder than I ever have, and doing the activities, because I know activities generate like positivity. It's like, even like exercise, like you do the exercise, you're like, I'm skinny again. And you're not really skinny after one day of exercise. It is just like that feeling like, oh, good, like I did it, And I feel that way with my business. Is I get on the phone and I connect with people, I talk with people, just like I did in BOLD. And I do the activities that eventually generate results. And then I can go sleep at night and know I did everything I could to make things happen. And my old self, it was just the difference was with my mental, what did you call it? Mental.
Geez, why am I drawing a blank on it? Strong, mentally tough, being mentally tough.
My mental toughness was the difference was I was sitting around waiting for something to happen and being reactive versus making things happen, being proactive and focusing on activities. We cannot focus on results. Like I love that thought of like the lead versus lag measures from the 4 disciplines of execution, and really focusing on those lead measures, which is lead generation, relationships, talking to people, even setting appointments. We can't control closings or the amount of money we're making, or the lag measures just happen because of the lead measures. So my business really shifted to the focus on the activities.
Awesome. I love that.
My mind shifted to like being happy with just doing the activities.
Yeah, it sounds like you're concentrating on things that you can affect and being okay with the results, and that's a mentality that is awesome. I love it. So I'll just I won't go exactly in order because some of these things kind of lead right into it, and you've touched on it here. What skills in sport did you apply to business? I see that you have set your team to somewhat act like a sports team, but what do you think the skills from sports that you apply the most?
Yeah, so definitely the team of specialists is just like my volleyball team. And like my buyer's agents are my outside hitters. They get all the accolades because they make the kill, but we set them up, the success team, and myself sets them up for success. And then the skills, it's just, I love hiring athletes and working with, it's not necessarily like a former athlete, they could be a former athlete, but just that athlete mentality, like something in their life where they overcame adversity, they work hard, they know how to, that confidence. Yes. And it's really hard to, it took me years with hiring people to figure out that I need people that are confident, because I'm like myself, you know?
Yes,
Like I
of
have
course.
like a pretty good like light love of myself. And
Hmm.
so if I have someone that doesn't have that toughness and that confidence, then I might just say something that breaks them. Instead of when I hear something, I go, oh, this is a way for me to get better. I'm so glad I heard that. Like it triggers
Yeah.
great feelings, but I kind of turn it into something else. I've always also realized that everyone's like me. It's good to hire different people, but it's just somehow past life, life lessons or athletics that cause people to be confident is a huge. That's something that we have to have with our team members.
Love it, love it, and that's awesome. Just a little side note: literally, our ad for when we don't have it up right now, but for recruiting potential loan officers, we are looking for somebody that has an athletic background. That's part of our thing. We're scoping out people that have that background, just because we know mentally they're going to be a little bit stronger than those that don't. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, think about how many times our coaches told us we're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So then I'm in a work environment and I tell them one thing they do wrong and they crumble and like die, or like start crying.
Unacceptable.
Like, oh geez, that was just one thing. I have like 10 other things I want to tell you.
Exactly. So that's absolutely awesome. That's music to my ears. And honestly, you've already given an example of an obstacle or achievement excuse me. You gave me an obstacle that you've overcome from in your business side. Can you give me an example of an obstacle or an achievement in sports that has prepared you for this? So do you have a specific story that was like that hurdle that prepared you for being successful in business?
Jeez.
We can come back to them too if it comes up in the middle of it. So
yeah, let's come back to it.
Okay, perfect,
Thanks.
perfect. So no worries at all. So just give me a little explanation about success and how it's affected you, because you obviously have gone from working your tail off to get to a high level in sport, then getting rewarded by a scholarship, and then didn't win much that was there, but you have turned all of that into a very, very extremely successful business. Talk to me about success and how it's affected you to where where you are now and seeing a lot of success.
I think success breeds on success. It's just like super contagious. And then also probably the obstacle would be the losing, that bred on losing. It was so like there is a season where it was like the team could have done nothing and we still lost to them.
Yeah.
Because it was so mental. And it was just like losing begets losing, and then but success begets success. And especially right now, like being that positive bright light for people and focusing on those activities that are successes will breed more of those, and not so much worrying about the sales of May. That could get really crazy in my head right now, is what's going to happen in May and June. Instead of like big, huge pipelines, focusing on connections, serving people at a high level, and like doing what we can do every single day. I mean, even before what's happening right now, it's just like we always approach a client as not a paycheck. It's like, how can we really, really change these guys' life and serve them?
Yeah.
And have a experience that they've never had before. And then they go tell all their family and friends about it.
Agreed.
And so like just really focusing on the service, focusing on the people, focusing on the wins and celebrating those wins as a team, because it's just easy in sales and in real estate to get down in any market, and to let that like catapult to more of the losing instead of focusing on the winning.
Awesome. That's perfect. And then last but not least, knowing what you know now, what would you say to your younger self?
As a college athlete, I wish I was more of a student of the game. My best friend watched a lot of videos, spent a lot of time outside of the court, like becoming a student. And she's now a very successful businesswoman. I think I just peaked a little bit later than her. So to young people, to realize like your sport is your job, and it does take more than practice in the game. It's like your whole life. Like if we've got big goals, our calendar needs to match our goals. And so if I was just going to a 3-hour practice and then the 1-hour weights and not doing any video, I wasn't the best. There was a lot more people doing a lot more in college than I was. And so like, if I could go back, I would watch more video specifically, be a student of the game.
Yeah.
And then now what I know too, even my younger self selling real estate in my 20s, since I failed through that recession a little bit, it would be get up, get to the office, get dressed, and do the activities, lead generate. Like generating income is the most important thing. I mean, even though we talk about constantly that service is our thing, like that's how we get the referrals. But if we don't have anyone to serve, we can't serve. And so there's nothing more important than generating business.
Yes.
There's nothing. Not even a deal that's falling apart. Like that can wait a couple hours. We got to generate business first. It's the most important thing in the morning.
You're right. Gosh, I need to take that advice as well. I get caught up in some of the things in the running of the business. So you're exactly right. Well, hey, I know, I'm a huge fan of you. I can't thank you enough for taking the time just to answer some of these. I can't wait to actually share this video with my daughter. I mean, she's turning the corner on sports, and she's soaking all this stuff up, and she's looking up to those. And even though sport is so huge in her life right now, we're constantly talking about the things that come after sport. And if I can have, all I can ask for is for her to listen to people like you and get a bigger picture of what the end result is. So even above and beyond what's for the book here, like I can't wait to share this video with her. So thank you very much.
I'm so honored.
Awesome.
I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm going to be sending this over to the team. Actually, I'll in the recording here. So yeah, basically, do you want to stop recording?